A mechanic is only as good as his tools. A quote my high school teacher used to pound relentlessly into our innocent little heads. They say hindsight is 20/20, but unfortunately my safety glasses are fogging up, and thus I continue to squint, wistfully peering into the salad days of yore. Perhaps that's why I got such a bad grade in that class. The phrase begs to be argued with, but I suspect it does contain an oily blob of semi-truth floating somewhere near the surface. To a greater degree, however, I believe the real gold medal goes to creativity. Ding ding! Creativity to me is like an egg salad sandwich. It's loaded with cholesterol. Fortunately, creativity and I have been lucky enough to join hands and strike down evil with the mighty sword of teamwork and the hammer of not bickering. I spend a lot of time in studio. It's kind of what I do. I eat, I sleep, I studio. I lurk in the shadows, deep underground. Sealed doors, low lighting, acoustic treatment on the walls, carpet underfoot, bookshelves lined with boxed copies of recording/sequencing software, guitars, synths, amps, pedals, cables everywhere, a cool twirly computer chair with up/down lever thingy. I am a crab and this is my shell. Both prime real estate and perfect habitat for the evergreen creative seeds that must germinate and eventually bloom. Pardon me while I have a contented sigh of coziness. Ah, the studio. I find solace within the womb-like warmth of its downy plume. I've never pretended to be a good mechanic, although I do occasionally wrench my back, and I've never considered myself a grease monkey, despite the names I was called in 2nd grade. But I'd be a liar if I ever denied my love for tools. Music tools, that is. I got my greedy crabby pinchers on a slew of UAD-powered plugins a few weeks ago, and they've been blowing my socks off. I literally march around the house barefoot. Disclaimer, some of the language below, sourced from the UAD manual, is pretty dense, so if you're the sort of person with little or no intestinal fortitude, I highly suggest you make an egg salad sandwich and go do something really insane, like pick some of the hairs out of your nasty yak's milk in your fridge. Okay, thanks. Where was I? Ah yes, some of my faves. Empirical Labs EL7 Fatso. A truly overweight beast of a compressor/tape simulator with no immediate intention of dieting. I'm always coming up with new ways of using this obese burger. Pair this with the Cranesong Phoenix and you'll have so much analog intake, you'll be changing into a fresh pair of Huggies in a hurry. Heavy on the CPU, but mighty worth it. The Fatso, full analog tape simulator and optimizer, is designed to musically integrate frequencies and transients and increase the apparent volume of your source material in the same way classic analog equipment does. It achieves this through an ingenious design and a creative feature set, giving users the ability to import the wonderfully warm and pleasing sonic characteristics of magnetic recording tape and Class A transformer and tube circuits. Roland RE201 Space Echo, a true classic. FOH engineer Adam Jackson and this unit are good pals. They speak the same language, and it always amazes me how they can perform dreamy magical wizardry with such supernatural deftness and dexterity. The result is absolutely breathtaking, and I'm not referring to the ramifications of consuming cheap gas station barbecue hot wings either. In 1973, Roland created the Space Echo system that utilized multiple playheads to create warm, highly adjustable echo effects, which added wonderful tape character and chaos to performances and recordings. UA's RE201 Space Echo faithfully retains all the controls and features of the original, such as the mode selector for various head combinations, repeat rate for fine timing control, and intensity which sets repeat count and allows the unit to achieve self-oscillation. The all-important echo/normal dub switch is retained for muting, as well as the simple tone controls. Last but certainly not least, the atmospheric shimmer of the Space Echo's spring reverb is faithfully captured, putting this fantastic plugin on par with the original unit as a tool of infinite creativity. Neve 1081 EQ, the tastiest EQ I've ever laid ears on. Pure ear candy, makes the rustiest chunk of audio shine like a deep buffed chrome hot rod hood ornament. I wish my own eardrums had a 3 dB high shelf boost at 15K using this Love Boat. The Neve 1081 channel module was first produced in 1972 by Neve and was used to provide the mic line, amp, and EQ sections in consoles such as the Neve 8048. The Neve 1081 channel module is a 4-band EQ with high and low cut filters. The 1081 features 2 parametric mid-range bands with high Q sections for tighter boosts or cuts. Both the high and low shelf filters have selectable frequencies and may be switched to bell filters. Other features include a -20 to 10 dB input gain control, phase reverse, and EQ bypass. Trident A-Range EQ. Not your average chewing gum. A legendary EQ more fantastic than any fairy tale storybook. Only 13 consoles ever made, one of which Elliott Smith bought himself. Plus, it's purple! The original Trident A-Range desk holds near-mythic status in the professional recording industry, and is arguably the best-loved of the classic Trident console designs, particularly noted for the fantastic preamps and the unique band interactions of the colorful EQ section. The Malcolm Toft/Trident designed A-Range console has made an indelible impact on the sound of record making. During the golden years of rock, the A-Range was employed to record some truly great records. David Bowie's The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, Lou Reed's Transformer, and Queen's Sheer Heart Attack, to name a few, helping to solidify this console's reputation forever. Fairchild 670, the deluxe club sandwich of all compressors. It has everything on it and fries on the side. It's a complex Freudian hallucination, having something to do with my mother, and I don't know why it has wings, but it has very lovely legs and it's a very nice tiny person, and what am I saying? I don't know who my mother was. I'm an orphan, and I've never taken drugs because I missed the 60s. I was an accountant. In the annals of compressor history, the products produced by Fairchild are some of the best built and most highly prized on the vintage market. The most famous Fairchild products produced were the 660 and 670 compressor/limiters, which are famous for their fantastic sound quality. The stereo Fairchild 670 is probably the holy grail of compressors and studio gear esoterica, not only because of its price, known to fetch $30,000 and beyond on the vintage market, but also its extreme rareness and the difficulties in maintaining such a unit, with its 14 transformers, 20 vacuum tubes, 6 rack space encompassing girth, and weighing in at 65 pounds. The Fairchild 670 is truly the heavyweight champion of compression. Originating from the early 1950s, the design of the 670 uses a single push-pull stage of amplification with an extremely high control voltage. The Fairchild 670 is a variable MU tube limiter. Variable MU limiters are unique in that they use tubes for gain reduction and not just as amplifiers. The audio path is quite simple, and compression happens directly in the audio path rather than sending out to a separate compression circuit. The unit can be used as a limiter or compressor depending upon personal taste and program material. It can go from a 2-to-1 ratio as a compressor to a peak limiter with a 30-to-1 ratio. The unit can also be adjusted to operate anywhere between these two extremes using the threshold and DC bias controls. Moog Multimode Filter. Epic low-pass/high-pass/bandpass filter. This genie will grant you 3 sweet wishes and cook you breakfast while it's at it. I literally can't tell the difference between this Sly Fox and the filter on my Voyager, and Moog themselves claim they can't either. I'm convinced. The new UAD Moog Multimode filter, which delivers the first truly analog-sounding VCF, voltage-controlled filter emulation mode for mixing, performing, creating, or destroying. The Moog Multimode filter is a digital-only tabletop filter set that combines the best of Bob Moog's classic designs with select features from his final Voyager instrument. UA modeled the analog behavior of the historical 4-pole ladder filter conceived by the world's most recognizable electronic instrument maker right down to the self-oscillation, saturation, and non-linearities of its analog counterpart. As the name suggests, the heart of the Moog Multimode filter is the switchable low-pass, high-pass, and bandpass filter that allows Moog's signature self-oscillation and extreme resonance in any of the 3 modes, bringing a new level of sophistication to Moog filter designs of the past. Manly Massive Passive EQ. Whoa, look at all those knobs. The 2-channel 4-band Manly Massive Passive Tube EQ utilizes design strengths from Choice Console, Parametric, Graphic, and Pultec EQs, developing a fundamentally different sounding EQ that is beyond compare. The incredibly natural organic results of the Manly design method, evidenced on albums such as Wilco's Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, Amon Tobin's Foley Room, and Tori Amos's A Piano The Collection, demonstrate how the Massive Passive's natural treatment of a signal lends itself to both radical tone shaping as well as delicate vocal shading or subtle mastering enhancement. Passive refers specifically to the tone shaping elements of the equalizer, which use only resistors, inductors, and capacitors to create all frequency changes. The Massive Passive utilizes older parallel concepts rather than non-interactive series design as defined by George Massenburg's original parametric EQ. The frequency controls intentionally interact with one another, as do the gain and bandwidth controls. While this may result in the appearance of some unorthodox knob positions, it is specifically these band interdependencies between all bell, shuff, and cut filters that allow for the Massive Passive's natural and organic sound. Teletronics LA2A. Oh crap, I just spilled pizza sauce all over my pants!
Audio professionals passionate about their compressors revere the LA2A. The original was immediately acknowledged for its natural compression characteristics. A unique electro-optical attenuator system allows instantaneous gain reduction with no increase in harmonic distortion, an accomplishment of the time. Still appreciated today.
And of course, I'd be a lost boy indeed without my quiver of hard and soft shell synth weaponry. Korg MS-20, one of my favorite soft synths. Korg hit a Hank Aaron homer with this one. Woo! I realize this is all rather exhausting reading material for any demographic other than the average gearhead such as myself. Thus, if you've made it this far, one or both of the following may apply to you. A. You have a deep-rooted interest in the fine mechanics of musical craftsmanship. B. You need a job. I find it amazing how gear itself often provides all the inspiration one needs to write an entire record. This methodical madness is, in short, a true exemplification of creativity at its finest. Me likey.